What's up, guys? Mike Salema here, as well as Dr. Drew Vercellino.
What's going on?
And our guy, Stan.
Stan the Skeleton. What's up, man?
What we're going to do in a moment is we're going to take you through a detailed walkthrough of one of our favorite kettlebell exercises for the shoulder, and it's called the Kettlebell Arm Bar. There's a lot of details of this movement, so what I've done is I've asked Dr. Drew to break down a little bit of the anatomy of the shoulder, as well as walk me through the movement so you guys can perform it optimally. Let's go.
Let's go. So when we're talking about the kettlebell arm bar, we're really working on the stabilizers of the shoulder, or the shoulder girdle muscles overall. Many times when people are looking at this, they're thinking about the sits muscles. So we have the supraspinatus, infraspinatus, the subscap, and then also the teres minor. All of which are important muscles to help stabilize the humerus inside the glenohumeral joint. But we also can't neglect the other muscles that are surrounding the entire shoulder. So when we're getting into this kettlebell arm bar, and then eventually getting into the kettlebell Turkish get-up, we're really going to be working on a lot of the supporting muscles. And on top of that, the scapula itself has to rotate or move or glide across the ribs, and the ribs are stuck to the spine. So we need to get some spine. We need to get the spine to actually rotate a little bit and move. So we're also going to be working that during this movement. So stay tuned for it. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get set up for the kettlebell arm bar. So just like the Turkish get-up, you're going to roll over, get the bell, press it out, keep the elbow nice and straight, wrist is nice and straight, and the bell is actually sitting in the hand, so you have that nice neutral position. From here, the only difference with the Turkish get-up is normally the legs would be out about 30 up to 45 degrees. Here they're going to be together noticeably closer. From here, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring the arm that's on the ground, we're going to bring that up overhead. That's going to provide a little bit of stability so that you don't roll over too quickly. Then we're going to begin to roll over to the side. Now pay attention to this top leg as it's going to slide across the bottom one and then slide across the ground. Okay? Remember, you don't get any bonus points for going fast on this, so keep it slow. Safety is the key here. From here, we're just going to make sure we have some of the technical points in place. Again, arms still nice and straight. First thing is, make sure the head is nice and relaxed so you're not straining your neck muscles to get through this. Then what we can do is, if you have the thoracic mobility and or the mobility out of your shoulder, with the arm that's down on the ground, you can start to walk that up overhead more, okay? You'll start to feel that not only in the arm that's on the ground, but you'll also feel a little bit more in the chest and out of the thoracic spine. We also want to make sure that this bent leg here is at about 90 degrees perpendicular to the body. And what that does is it basically stops the lumbar spine from doing a lot of the rotation, so we can get it a little bit more out of the thoracic spine. So this is the first setup. From here, all we're going to do is just sort of work on pushing with the heel of the straight leg and pushing with the fingertips just to create as much tension as we can throughout the body. And then we'll also want to make sure we remember to breathe deep through the diaphragm and really get the most benefit out of this. Good, so after a couple breaths here, we're going to go into a little more details on the other side, give Mike a little bit of rest on this shoulder. So go ahead and bring it down nice and easy. Roll over to the back. Now that we've got the bell on the other side, we're going to go ahead and get set up. So go ahead and roll over to the side, nice and easy. First thing, always make sure that arm goes up overhead. Slide the leg across the bottom. One other thing we want to work on and just kind of make sure as far as stability out of the shoulder is you want to think of activating the lat and just pulling that shoulder down, but also keeping it away from the ear. So just think about kind of pulling it down away from the ear. Now, once we get to this position and we have all the requisites met, then we can begin to get a little bit more stretch out of this, a little bit more rotation out of the thoracic spine, and a little bit more stretch out of the pecs. So first thing we can do is we can begin to bring this hip of the upper leg down to the ground. So go ahead and press it down to the ground. Now he can do one of two things. He can either hold it here, work on the breath, right? Or he can begin to sequence that movement with his breath. So go ahead and come back, breathe in. Exhale, bring the hip down. Awesome. Inhale, come up. And let's do one more rep. Exhale, bring it on down. Great, come back. So that's one thing we can do. Next one we can do is we can begin on bringing the chest a little bit closer to the ground, making sure we're keeping this arm nice and vertical. Good, come back. We'll just do 2 reps of that. Perfect. You'll really, really feel both sides of the chest opening up with that one. Now from here, last thing we can do, these movements are going to be pretty small, but we can work on internal and external rotation of the shoulder. And you'll see they're just little micro movements. Remember, we don't need much. That joint is really, really small. And the muscles that are stabilizing them, they're really going to be firing. You'll start to see it now in the video. Mike's arm is shaking a little bit, especially as he gets to those end ranges. Good, let's go ahead and get it stable. You still got a couple seconds left in you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and bring it on back to the back. Now pay attention as he rolls back here. He's going to bring up the straight leg, bend the knee a little bit, and then slowly slide the back leg back all the way down, nice and easy, keeping that serratus anterior muscle engaged as he's going through here, all the way down. Good work.
So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial with myself and Dr. Drew Vercellino. Drew, I'm so grateful you came by, share your knowledge, man. I appreciate it. And when it comes to programming this into your workouts, I mean, it can be an exercise as a standalone during your training. Oftentimes I like doing it towards the end as its own isolated exercise, or it can be a great exercise before you get into movement as an activation exercise. Just know it does fatigue the shoulder quite a bit, so if you're utilizing it before training, go light and just don't go to extreme fatigue, because when you get into your main workout, you don't want your shoulder stabilizers to be shot. I hope you enjoyed that. Lay down a few reps, anywhere from 3 to 5 on any one of the elements that Dr. Drew mentioned, whether it was the hips, whether it was the chest to the floor, whether it was the internal, external rotation, or simply just holding can be a phenomenal exercise in how to utilize the arm bar in your kettlebell training. I'll see you guys next time, and remember to like, comment, and share this video with your friends, your family, anyone that you know who can benefit from kettlebell training. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.